Hello, this is Rick Koppel again, coming back to you. Found out that my stream got interrupted for a longer period of time than I thought and dropped a whole part of my conversation that I thought I was dishing out to everybody. So I thought I would quickly pick that back up and just fill in what was missed out on the first video. Uh, I was going into explaining what the doctor told me about how they do the deep brain stimulation nowadays, which is actually, there's been in recent years some advancements in that, and it's become more routine and fewer instances of mishaps and lower risk of problems, especially when you get somebody like my doctor who knows what he's doing. He's one of the best in the area, and I've had several people tell me that, and so I'm real confident that he'll do a good job, and I'm in the best hands possible. But anyway, in talking with him, we set a date for the 27th when the leads are going to be inserted in my head. And then on the October 4th, I'll get the battery generator uh, put into my belly probably. It is basically the same thing they use for pacemakers to provide electricity going into the brain. And then on the following Tuesday, uh, which is the 10th, October 10th, I'll get the programming done, which will fine-tune it, take out any side effects, and make it hopefully more effective and get me to the best possible outcome on the results of putting that in. Uh, but back in the old days, they had what they called the halo, which the old days really weren't that long ago. As a matter of fact, one of the ladies that I'm friends with at the gym told me that's what happened, how she got it done, where they basically put poles in your screw poles into your head, into your skull, and then they connect you to what's called a halo, and that keeps your head from moving because you can't have your head moving when they're trying to stick things down into your brain. It causes a lot of bleeding and other bad stuff like that. So uh, your head has to be totally immobile. So they always, for many years, that's how that was done with a frame that your head was bolted into basically, so you couldn't move your head at all. Nowadays, they've actually got something that's a little bit more comfortable. Instead of several poles being drilled into your head, you got some poles going upright that are positioned around your head, about 3 or 4 of them, maybe 5, I can't remember now how many there were. And they basically act as reference points for the computer to tell where your head's at. And that's all they really do. They aren't bolted to anything. Then you got a contraption that's about like this, big around. That gets screwed into the head where the incision where the lead's going to go in to your brain. And so you got some stuff bolted to your head, but it's not quite as like it was before. And then when that happens, they insert the lead down in there. I understand it takes about 3 to 4 hours for both sides to be done because they've got to put 2 in, 1 for each side of your head and your body. But the doctor was telling me something that was interesting, that they just got in this big multi-million-dollar piece of equipment that is going to make not even the poles necessary, the reference poles, to be screwed onto your head. So the only thing that would get screwed on your head is just the contraption to insert the leads into the brain with. So we don't know if we're going to be using that on me or not. We'll find out because he's got to test it for accuracy, and we definitely wanted to be sure that it's accurate. Otherwise, it gets wasted and worthless process. It's a lot of money to spend on something for nothing to happen. Because you got to get those leads in position in just the right spot. He said a millimeter's movement of difference either way can make it ineffective. So the computer, they can verify the accuracy by the time I have my surgery on September the 27th. If he's comfortable with that, then they'll use that on me, and I won't even have the hole split in my head. But currently we're planning on that happening until he is sure that this other thing's going to work like it's supposed to, and he's comfortable with it. If he's comfortable with it, I'm sure I'll be comfortable with it, because he seems to be very, very particular about getting things done correctly. That's why he's one of the best in the area, because he has the fewest instances of hemorrhaging or those other complications. So anyway, that's the process that's going to happen. By the end of September, I'll have wires stuck in my brain, and by the beginning of October, early part of October, I'll have electricity plugged into it and have it on, and hopefully we'll take care of tremors and the dyskinesia. You can see now my dyskinesia is kind of mellowed out as the medicine's finally starting to kick in a little bit. Still got a little bit of tremors in my hand, but at least now I'm not bouncing around so much. That's the life of Parkinson's patients, and mine isn't the worst case scenario either, although I may get there one day. There's some people that have a lot worse than I do, and so it'll be good to be able to get more of my life back with if this deep brain stimulation works like it's billed to. You never know how well these things are going to work, because what works really well for one person in Parkinson's may not work for another person. Some people can totally get off their meds, other people have to keep taking some meds. Some people it makes a very minimal amount of difference. And of course part of that is how well the operation is done. And so we'll find out beginning of October just how well this puppy works on me. And until then, that's what I had basically said when the part where the streaming was apparently stopped and broke away. I have to learn how to detect that better in this instance, but it looked like the video came out pretty well, at least. So I'm thinking the settings aren't too bad overall. Thanks for watching, and we'll check with you next time. Bye.